Aren't you excited? You're going to be a fairy and live in the world where time stands still.
Hey guys, what is going on? Chris here as always with Shughead Gaming, bringing you my review for Déraciné, developed by From Software and released this November 6th for an estimated retail price of $30. And of course, that depends on your region. In Déraciné, you take the role of an invisible fairy where time stands still and you are able to interact and influence the children and headmaster of an old-fashioned boarding school. Oozing with style and beauty, does Déraciné also bring the gameplay? Let's find out. As always guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more PSVR content from me, please consider subscribing, and for updates, hit that bell icon. As always, graphics are up first. Developed by From Software, the creator of the Dark Souls series and the PlayStation exclusive Bloodborne, expectations that Déraciné would be a fantastic looking game were high. As such, I'm happy to say that in this category, Déraciné doesn't disappoint. While not an overly large playing space, all three levels of the boarding school as well as outside the school grounds have obviously been designed with love and passion by the development team. Texture detail is detailed and sharp, with only a small bit of jagged edges being seen, and that's only if you're looking for them. Even more impressive is that From Software has managed to pull off this level of detail and not compromise it by increasing the level of blur effect, a result of very strong anti-aliasing techniques. This was most recently visible on the pro version of Firewall 0 Hour. Here though, in Déraciné, we are greeted with a fully realized world that feels authentic and extremely polished, with only the outside stages seeing some visible graphical shortcuts. Lighting is also very noticeably well done, almost looking painted onto the world as if it was a canvas. This feeling of life caught in a moment is a characteristic and also a game mechanic seen heavily in Déraciné, as you in fact interact with much of the world while it is frozen in time. At times, this does make the world feel like a point-and-click adventure in the style of the old Myst games, but when it suddenly comes alive, it can be a sight to behold in the headset. Speaking of which, character models and their respective animations are among some of the best seen on the PSVR, and feel like real characters standing in front of you. I say characters because with the almost doll-like quality the children possess, and the brief instances where the school children and their headmaster come alive, they feel less like real people and more like characters in a play. This isn't a negative, however, just an observation. Regardless, Déraciné ranks up there with some of PSVR's best looking games, with visuals that truly feel like they were created from a development team that loved making this game and its world. And that brings us to sound.
A fairy, eh? If what Yulia said is true, then perhaps the herbs could get into the stew. No, silly me. That's impossible.
From Software's past games have always been rich on atmosphere. Much of this has been due in part by the care they put into the audio side of things. Again, as with the visuals, that same care and passion can be heard here in the hallways of Déraciné. With a rich violin score running throughout, players are immediately brought into the world in front of them. Déraciné is not a game to rush through or beat. Instead, it is a game to be soaked up and lived in. Everything here from the music score and the world sounds to the fantastic voice work all come together to bring you into its narrative. Some more variety in the musical score would have been a nice addition, and sometimes the world could seem a bit dull and muted due to the silence in rooms, for, as I mentioned, time is often frozen. Regardless of these small qualms, Déraciné demonstrates the same level of polish in its audio as is seen in the visuals, delivering the AAA qualities we have come to expect from this developer. Gameplay is up next. So here it is, and don't just click off this review once you hear it. Okay? Playing Déraciné reminded me a lot of my time with The Inpatient. In many ways, Déraciné has all the strengths and weaknesses that The Impatient had, but without the hype going into it, leading to huge disappointment in the PSVR community. Yes, I know Déraciné isn't a horror game, but let's be honest, either was The Impatient. Déraciné has the control issue problem like Impatient. Here, it comes in the form of rigid teleport prompts as the only form of locomotion, as well as mandatory click turning. Both are great sounding and looking games set in a similar time period. Similarly, both games were strongly based around NPC interaction, with a strong narrative being the main focal point of the game. And, most importantly, both are fairly short but pricey games that made the most criminal sin in video games. They're both fucking boring. As a fairy, you will spend the bulk of the 3-hour campaign teleporting around the inside and outside of the boarding school, interacting with either echoes of past character moments or the people themselves. Like I said, much of the game takes place in a state of frozen animation, as time stands still for you as you can control it in a multitude of ways. Much of the game has you uncovering moments of energy and interacting with them, giving you a glimpse of the lives of the people around you. As you progress, you are given simple objectives, usually in the form of fetch quests or simply learning more about the world around you. Yes, this world is warm and majestic in VR. Yes, the characters really do take on a presence and life of their own that is only possible in VR. The problem is, outside of taking in the sights and sounds, I just didn't care about anything going on around me or anyone in it. Nothing here is thrilling, captivating, mysterious, or even remotely interesting. At least for me. I mean, come on, I can't even throw things in the game. Where's the fun in that? Anyway, the game requires 2 move controllers, and the tracking of these is expectedly fantastic. The entire movement scheme of the game is geared towards comfort, so motion sickness should be non-existent. Additionally, a minimum amount of room is required, as this game can be played seated with minimal arm movement. And that brings us to fun factor in my final review. Yeah, this game really isn't much fun. One could call it magical, warm, relaxing, immersive, but I don't think anyone would call it fun. Déraciné in many ways is a benchmark title for visuals and atmosphere on the PSVR, but it forgets to be entertaining along the way. I rate games on a scale of buy, wait for a sale, or burn it to the ground. If period pieces are your thing, and the idea of a relaxing, casual exploration of this world piques your interest, then this could be for you, and worth the asking price. For all others, even if you're simply interested in the game from a technical standpoint, do yourself a favor and wait for a sale. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more PSVR content from me, please consider subscribing, and for updates, hit that bell icon. I will catch you guys on my next video.